be a champion, the gym must become your home, and your focus can never waver.
Alle mensen willen hem winnen bij hem. En hij is met iedere vechter, hij is doen wat voor nieuwe vechters, hij is gewoon echt hard werk.
Trainer Alexander Michkov has been working with Fedor since 2000. When he first saw Emelianenko, Michkov knew he had a great talent, but it was Fedor's raw skill that needed to be honed.
Все начинали с нуля, но тем не менее у него очень хорошая координация, быстро научился правильности нанесения ударов, защитных действий.
Throughout the day, no angle is left uncovered, and every member of the team has his role.
Я его помогаю ему ставить ноги, передвижения, защитные действия за счет корпуса, за счет ног. Вот как бы в этом направлении мы с ним постоянно и работаем.
Если он что-то делает, то он делает это от начала до конца и выкладывается весь. Что бы это он ни делал.
Kirill Sadelnikov is Fedor's main training partner, and sometimes it's a painful experience.
Да, со стороны головы и уверен живот.
Можно, Антон?
Да.
Все ли ты способен? Со стороны головы. Извини.
То, что на лице вот как бы по-боему, это все во время тренировок. Тренировок с Федором. Немножко есть, наверное, азарт. То есть сможет, там, не сможет, смогу ли я уйти.
Кукушечка. Сейчас. Самая кукушечка. Сейчас прилетит. Сейчас уже скоро.
Как бы в этом азарте, ну, и смешно, и больно.
There is no rest and no days off. A fighter is as good as the work he puts in, but for the baddest man on the planet, it's not work at all.
Мне очень приятна усталость после тренировки, когда изнеможенный идешь домой, еле ноги волочешь. Мне это очень приятно.
For Fedor, familiarity is key, and after a hard day of training, his body needs to rest.
А где это наши тут родные? А где это наши родные тут, а?
Longtime friend Denis Kurilov's family owns the bathhouse that Fedor uses. Again, it's very simple. Fedor uses a traditional Russian practice to help keep his body pure.
Баня помогает очень для восстановления между тренировками. Завариваем в кипятке и потом друг друга нагоняем пар, массажируем, так сказать, бьем друг друга вениками. Выгоняет всю молочную кислоту. Очень хорошо для восстановления, чтобы новую неделю начать полным сил.
And this is Fedor's routine, week in and week out. When you finally get to see it, it appears normal. And that's exactly what Fedor wants. We've seen the training. Now we go inside the ring with the baddest man on the planet. His mindset, his tactics, his flawless techniques. How Fedor dismantled the world's greatest fighters. No other fighter in the world is Fedor. No other fighter is the baddest man on the planet. Welcome back to the baddest man on the planet.
One of the things that makes Fedor so great is the fear of the unknown. And up until this point, Fedor was largely unknown. Now we've had a chance to see him train in the rusty gyms out there in the woods, but you haven't really seen the action until you see the great Fedor step into the ring. From his early days of pride to his utter destruction of former UFC heavyweight king Tim Sylvia, this is the man you should fear most.
When Fedor enters the ring, the lights, cameras, and screaming fans do not enter his mind.
The way his facial expression is and the way his mind seems to be so extremely focused, you can see his mental strength.
Перед боем уже поздно о чем-то думать, уже поздно составлять какие-либо техники, тактику на бой.
I think one of the things that As a fan of the sport, I admire and kind of get a kick out of watching Fedor compete is his demeanor.
A lot of fighters will start to go into the ring and their heart rate is already starting to race.
Crazy reactions, like a freaking reaction, it's not going to help you.
Nobody does it like him. You know, he's got this icy blue U-boat commander kind of thing.
Когда я иду на бой, я стараюсь ни о чем не думать и собраться в себе, сконцентрироваться. И идя на бой, я не испытываю никаких эмоций, ни злости, ни жалости, ни, не знаю, других каких-либо. Не вызываю в себе эмоций, я выхожу на бой с чистой головой.
Every part of your training, everything that you thought about doing for however many months you've been working for that fight, you put it on display.
Fedor burst onto the MMA scene primarily in the Pride League in Japan. For many, they quickly saw that someone very special had arrived.
The first time I saw Fedor fight was against Heath Herring. And I actually turned on the fight because I wanted to see Heath Herring beat up on this Russian guy.
Heath Herring, this American Texan, was, I don't want to say the gatekeeper, but he was pretty respected.
All of a sudden I'm seeing this guy take it to Heath up.
And there's the knee.
He doesn't stand up.
Why should he? What do you mean, Heath? I think Heath has been dilapidated to some extent here.
He landed these shots with a tremendous amount of force and velocity that we hadn't seen before.
I got one word for this fight. I got one word only, and that is impressive.
In Fedor, even the greats saw something that had never been seen before.
The wow factor came with Fedor in his ability to kind of take ground and pound to a whole new place.
He hits harder than anybody I have ever seen when he's on the ground.
I do not want to have him my guard because his ground and pound is really sick.
You really instantly knew, you know, within minutes, this guy was too fast and he hit too hard.
He's trained all his life for whatever comes across the ring. Big guy, small guy, quick guy, white guy, black guy, Asian guy, it doesn't matter. He's ready for whatever comes.
Каждая победа мне дорога, каждая победа далась мне большим трудом.
It's not always his power and strength that impress. In 2003, Fedor showed that even when tested, he possesses a calm that can overcome any blow.
When I fought him, I didn't want him to be able to throw those punches and stuff and hit me, so I wanted to stay close to him, get him to the ground.
Ken Renman take it around.
I honestly thought we saw the first death in MMA because Kevin threw him on his head so hard.
When Fedor remains so relaxed when he's fighting, he's almost like rubber, he's like putty in your hands, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's all over you, capitalizing on an opening, and you feel his true power.
I thought he was taking a breather, and when I went to move, he realized, he saw me give up a little bit of the pressure on him, turned me over.
Oh, here we go. There is.
Gets thrown on his head and arm bars Randleman as soon as he hits the ground. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
In all of Fedor's fights, when he grabs a hold of a limb, he almost always finishes the submission, and when someone grabs a hold of his limb, he almost always escapes.
In July 2008, Fedor came to America for his biggest fight to date in the States. Matching up with former UFC champion Tim Sylvia, Fedor knew the importance of proving himself to the American audience.
Tim Sylvia is always known as a tough guy to fight.
This is Tim Sylvia, who's a top 10 heavyweight, for sure, you know, in anybody's book. And who's beat a lot of tough guys. You know, Fedor doesn't seem like he cares at all.
He timed it perfectly. When he saw his opening, he capitalized, closed that distance, and then never let up.
He came to that match almost in the sense like, I want this to be 36 seconds long.
It's finally here. Fedor Emelianenko on U.S. soil, fighting the former UFC heavyweight champ, Tim Sylvia.
This is the kind of fight you live for right here.
Again, this is for the WAMA heavyweight belt. Big John. Oh, nice. Sharp press there by... Tim Sylvia goes down. This is what Fedor does best. Fedor immediately hooking into hooks, going for a rear naked choke. Can it be over this fast?
This is the same position Randy Couture had Tim Sylvia, but he's got that.
He tapped out. He tapped out. 36 seconds. That is why. Fedor Emelianenko. You want to know why? He is the greatest fighter on the
Сильвии. Что он прошел быстро. И он меня ни разу не ударил.
Стив Сильви, да, хороший бой. Мне понравилось.
The American public was impressed by Fedor's dominance, but to him, never concerned with status or rankings, it was just another step.
Is был rank Fedor find I need best залов. I wait some felt champions.
Но никогда нет, что я лучший, что я номер 1, там, номер 5, там, что я... То есть такого нет.
Я согласен, что говорят люди по поводу самого лучшего бойца в мире. Наверное, такие есть. Люди просто говорить не будут.
Ну, лучший из лучших, наверное. Что, я даже не знаю, что еще сказать.